back to class. Welcome back to class number 4. That we're going to talk about video content today and just do a quick recap. We've been down social media 101. We've talked about your brand on social. We've talked about photography on your phone. And today we're going to talk about importance of video content. So this class will work similar to the others, where we will kind of break down what we know and give you reference materials as well as some resources, and then a little bit of homework along the way. So what I am going to do first is start by sharing my screen and kind of give you a visual on, the path we've been down here and where we're going. So we've talked social media 101. Let's talk about photography on your phone, which is just do a quick recap there. From last time. The training is out here. I believe that you guys have access to that, but we talked all about photography, lots of do's and don'ts, some resources for you. We gave you some befores and after. Here's a little bit of homework. Hopefully you could check that off. And then we gave you some additional resources. So the one thing I do want to say is any kind of editing or information that we gave you when it came to photography really actually applies to video as well here. So yeah, we're going to talk video today. All right. Caroline, you want to kind of start by maybe walking through why video?
Yes. So as you all probably know, social media is becoming very, very video heavy across the board, across all apps, which you can just tell just through scrolling now. But these are just some stats we pulled up from a few different marketing resources. 9 out of 10 users watch Instagram videos weekly. This includes Reels, stories, and then actual video posts like in the regular feed. Experts believe that video content will rise to 82% of the total content on all social media platforms by the end of 2022. So like I said, you probably all have already noticed the shift where it's incredibly video heavy. And so this one is actually really important, and why we're kind of sharing this is to convince you why you need to be sharing videos on your socials. Is Instagram video posts have 2 times the engagement of all other types of posts. So especially since Reels have come about, the Instagram algorithm really is pushing video content. So sometimes, in some cases, the way the algorithm works, you don't even have to do anything on your end, but Instagram is going to put you in front of a bunch of eyes on a bunch of users' feeds simply because you're either using Reels, you're creating a video, because they know that's what users want to see. So just posting a video alone is already going to get your content that much further. Do you want me to keep going?
Sorry, I couldn't find the unmute. So let's talk about types of video. We've discussed a little bit of some of these when we talked about some stories, and we gave you some homework around that Instagram story, but let's talk about where video really goes right now. Instagram and Facebook have a variety of video options. And then if you're really feeling innovative, TikTok right now is very explosive in that video space, and where a lot of people are scrolling recently. So Instagram and Facebook, you're looking at Reels, which is a very similar format to TikTok. It's gonna, be a quick video content up to 60 seconds. Instagram video is where you're posting to your feed, but it is a video. Instagram Live, you can go live with video, and Instagram Stories, you can also upload video to. So lots of video options in that Instagram, Facebook space. TikTok, they kind of give you this one option. Like you get either I think you can have up to a 3-minute video, but some people don't take advantage of that 3-minute. A lot of Instagram or TikTok content is 15 seconds or less. So
they actually just, I believe today or yesterday, upped it to 10 minutes. I don't encourage you to use 10 minutes. I can promise you people are going to get bored. As we know, people like quick things. But yes, 10 minutes is now an option on TikTok.
I didn't know that. So what we wanted to do was man you with some content ideas today. One thing that I think is fascinating about content, and when we look at watching video, if we specifically look in that like Reel and TikTok space where there's these smaller curated videos, is that these videos are oftentimes a lot of short videos put together to make a longer video. So people are taking these short, 10, 15, 20-second videos and then editing them to make a more curated version of a video. And we want to kind of give you some information and insight around that today. So when we're specifically looking at that, we have some editing tools we want to introduce you to and everything, but I think manning you with some ideas helps you get quicker to actually creating, right? Where you don't have to like come up with the whole idea and then go figure out what you're going to create. So a few ideas we have for you specifically in this industry are a time-lapse video. So if you're on your phone, you can, instead of the video button, you would scroll over and there's a time-lapse option. A time lapse means you need to walk really, really slow, and that will provide a sped up version of you walking through that house. And people can see a walkthrough of a space that you're in. So a time lapse video can be effective. The other option there, if you want to do some kind of walkthrough like that, is take a regular video and then you can like speed it up actually and do kind of this like sped up walkthrough through a space as well. Those both have a similar effect and work well to show off a space. So another real option is like finding something unique within a house and showing it off. So one thing that's fun about Reels and TikToks is that there's sounds that you can put with these, and finding those trending sounds or music options can help highlight something along the way. You can show something off within a house very easily and very quickly that might be something different.
Another reason to use trending sounds is since they are trending, more likely it will be put in front of other audiences, and it will also be categorized under that sound. Whatever sound you attach to the video also becomes attached to the sound, so that can also increase your audience.
Yes. It's the same way with Reels and TikTok. Those things function very, very similarly. So an IG video, you can highlight certain spots. You can take video and just post it to your feed. You don't have to worry about the Reels format or anything like that, but you can take something and post it to your feed that is a video. Sorry, we have a visitor today. And so highlight hotspots or something around town or within a neighborhood of a listing. Go find video of a coffee shop that somebody might be interested in because the house is close to it. Whatever you can highlight within that neighborhood to make something more appealing within a listing could be really fascinating. As far as a reel goes, flip the camera and instead of showing the house, show your face and do some small edited versions of you providing tips to home buyers. I'm guessing you know way more about this housing market than I do, but all I know is that it's weird and wild and crazy out there. What can you inform me about that as a potential home buyer? So putting your face out on video and setting, your camera up somewhere and, taking small takes of you talking to the camera can be helpful. And then what we want to introduce you to are a few editing apps where you can put all of those in one place and then edit the length of each one of those so that they kind of roll in a more produced and fun manner that could help curate that video a little bit more. The other one is just introducing yourself on maybe that IG video form and let your personality show, let you connect with an audience and let them interact with that video when they're maybe used to a still photo from you. So it could kind of shake up your content a little bit. Okay, don't forget to share your content, whether it be reel or video, feed posts and stories to get more eyes on it. So stories is a great way to promote any kind of content that you're putting out there. If you post a reel, if you post a video within your feed, you can share it to stories and it gets that many more eyeballs on it along the way. It's also helpful because other people can share that video. So if you're tagging Better Homes, maybe they can go put it in their story and help boost your content along the way as well. So don't forget those shareable pieces along the way. Our two favorite apps, if you want to do any kind of video editing, are going to be Splice and InShot. So if you have those apps or if you're interested in those apps, basically they can pull video from your phone and you can, take video into one space. You can even take still photos into that video and you can edit the length of those sizes of videos all together and then export it as one video as itself that you can then upload to the app. So both of these apps have free versions of them and they have paid versions of them if you want to get more features along the way. But I think mostly we use InShot within our team when we're creating, but Splice is very effective and does almost the exact same thing, both really high quality apps that allow for a lot of video editing. There is an option to edit your video within the app itself. I don't recommend it. I think it's really hard because you have less control. And it's hard to, I think it just complicates things personally. If you find an easy way to do it, or maybe you're recording all at once and you're not wanting to, put multiple pieces of a video together, that could be an option for you. But I would not necessarily recommend it. I think that it adds a complicated layer almost. Yes. So let's move along here. I know that we've had a lot of Q&A in the past. We've done some breakout groups in the past. And what we want to be able to do is provide some Q&A or some idea generation around how you want to start implementing video, and give you some homework to that. The one thing that I want to do that's going to be a little shot to the gut is everybody's first video they've ever posted online is usually bad. Like it just is. It's just, you're just learning. You're just figuring it out. Your first video is probably not going to blow up the world or go viral. But if you're consistent with it and you keep it up, you get better at it as you start to learn more of the features along the way. I think you'll be really surprised how quickly the platforms will boost it right now, and your success will be faster, quicker. Like quick, yes. So you will have more success at a quicker rate just because the platforms want video on it so badly right now. And so they're willing to give you more reach around those videos. So highly recommend just starting it, even though it's going to feel uncomfortable, maybe even a little daunting at first. But I promise you that there is a fast track there if you choose to engage with it very consistently along the way. So a little bit of homework we want to challenge you to do this week is search other agents on social media who create reels or TikToks and get inspired. I am a TikTok scroller these days. It's a mindless, lovely place to put my brain when I don't want to think too hard. And I scroll some on Instagram, but mostly TikTok. And I have found one real estate team in Kansas City that somehow they latched onto TikTok very early and often. I can share that handle with you guys as well in the chat, but they've done a really great job. And I would just go recommend finding other real estate industry experts that have latched onto video and done it well. So you can see what they're doing and see that it doesn't have to be hard a lot of the time, with the ideas and the types of ways that they're showing off different spaces, can be actually pretty simple. So I was gonna find that group for you. The TikTok team that is in Kansas City, I don't think they're with Better Homes, so forgive me, but you can go look at them because I think they do a great job. Is Core, C-O-R-E, Team KC. It looks something like that. And they've got a ton of videos, and it's fascinating what all they do, and these walkthroughs and how they highlight different properties is really nice. So highly recommend doing your research and going and checking out other people in the industry. Next piece of homework is download those editing apps. Give it a try, give it a whirl. Take some small clips of video and insert them into that editing app and see what happens, and play around a little bit with understanding how to shorten the clips and edit things down, and get a really nice curated video of a space. I think the easiest thing that you can do in your industry is you're always in spaces. You're showing, you're listing, you're walking through, you're doing a inspection, whatever it is, you're always in these cool homes and spaces. So highlight it while you're there. And then when you get those videos, get home and see if you can drop them into an editing app and make something of it. And then the other piece of homework is create your first reel or TikTok that highlights a listing and post it. Put it out there, see what happens. We report back to us, tag us or send it to us so that we can share and engage with it as well and help you boost that to a bigger audience. We would love to see you push your comfort zone there a little bit. So video can feel really hard and like a lot. Do we have any questions around it? Somebody, Casey, you said Eric Goldstein, I think that's how you say that name, paid his daughter and Candy to do a TikTok walkthrough, and you can view it on his Instagram. I like it.
Yeah, he said he got, can you guys hear me? He said he got 500 views or whatever. And I think he only has like 3 photos on his Instagram. He's trying to increase his video. So
yeah,
his daughter does TikTok. I was like, if you have your niece or anybody you know does some of that stuff, just, you know, especially those walkthroughs, because she knew how to speed it up, and now she like loves doing them.
yeah.
So
it's not, it seems daunting. I totally understand that. It's new, it's different. It feels like technology, like those little young bucks know how to do things that we don't. Absolutely not. Like, it actually is easier than I think you think it is. It's just going to take a little time. And like I said, nobody's first video they've ever put on the internet is fantastic. So don't hold yourself so, high that you feel like you can't just get your first post out there, and at least try it out. Cause I think you'll even be surprised how your first video goes. So, and I think it's cool, like, to be able to have a collection of all the spaces in Kansas City and the different neighborhoods and listings and all of that. I think what you'll find from other agents is that they want to sell houses right now too. They want their buyers in your listings, so they will help boost your content. I think it's a great way for other agents to engage with each other along the way and lift each other up, because again, you're all working together eventually, right? On all of those listings, the buyer, the list, all of that, the sellers, agents along the way. So Karen says, any tips to get started? You're going to hate this tip. Just start. I would say go shoot in your first house that you're walking through, shoot somewhere between 8 to 10 small clips of the house. Hold your phone up and do small, slow scans of the first, grab 5 to 10 second clips of the house somehow, some way. And then when you get home, when you can sit down and think about it, get that editing app out and drop all of those videos into the editing app and see if you can play around with shortening those clips a little bit and creating one long video all together. That would be my first suggestion. Like, just get those clips of video first and foremost. You can't post video if you don't have video. So you got to go get it first. But shooting small snippets, I think, can be really helpful. Get pictures, always be taking photos of whatever houses you're in, even if it's on the outside, or you scan the front yard, or the cool things. But definitely my advice to getting started is just starting, getting those video clips taken. Good question though. What other questions do you guys have about video? Casey, where have you guys seen success in video on your social media?
I feel Kaylee probably can tap on that more since she's dove into our social media more than I have. But I think as far as what I see agents do, like what you talked about, is just doing the walkthroughs. I think a lot of people like seeing before and afters. A lot of people like seeing any tips. I think also turning the camera and having an agent talk. I think, like you guys mentioned, having it be really short. I think just doing those where like because sometimes, like, say if I'm at work, I can't necessarily listen to something, or if an agent's in a meeting, but you can, if they have the copy kind of going over them and telling some tip. I think the big thing is agents want to seem like the most knowledgeable or, you know, as far as in that area or in the city or town that they're in. I think they want to come across as like they have the most experience, so people want to go with them. So while you can do homes and while you can show them sold and all that, I think it's important to kind of, I don't think it's important, but like you said, if you start to feel comfortable doing it, turning it around on you, and even if you don't want to, if you're showing the house and you just have copy on there that can kind of say certain things. But it's the content. And I think if people did the pillars like you suggested, I think all that can do well. Kaylee, do you have any insight on videos of what's worked for our agents?
Yeah, I wanted to add that Savannah Johnson out of Leewood, I think, maybe Lee Summit. I don't know. I don't know what office she's in for sure, but she is doing really, really great on TikTok. In terms of like she's following the trends and the sounds that was mentioned earlier. So she's kind of using it in a different way. So guys, if you guys are interested in like how agents are using it in different ways, like the Goldstein team is doing really great with their walkthroughs, but Savannah is kind of following like the trending sounds and trends in general.
Yeah, I think that's one thing we're going to add to this document before sending it over to you today are trending sounds, trending ideas. And I want to link people in this industry that I follow that I think have done really well in this space that you can go look at and just see examples of what they're doing. There was another question here. Before I answer that question, one thing I wanted to point out is Casey said, go back to your pillars. When in doubt, or you feel like your ideas are like, you don't know, go back to those pillars because that will help define what type of content. Natalie asked, what are we allowed to use? Do we have to ask agents permissions first? I have heard mixed answers. I'm going to default to Casey or Kaylee on that one, because when it comes to how, whatever you take video on your own phone, I think is free game. That would be my opinion, but I will default to the real estate expert here.
As far as what you're allowed to use, I would say the same. Like, are you being specifically like what you can and can't use? Sorry, someone's calling me. But I think the main thing, like we talked about with posts, I think stories are different right now. KREC or anybody like that's not getting after us with when it comes to stories, as far as tagging and like that. So I think it's different. If it becomes a post, they see that more as an ad compared to a story or because those can go away. So as long as you guys have our name, our full name, Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate, Kansas City Homes, as long as that's in the signature part of the post, you're good there. As far as having to ask agents for permission first, are you talking about like borrow, like what do you mean by that? I guess, Natalie, what were you thinking? Are you there? But I would agree with Ashley. I don't think, go ahead.
Casey, this is Carol Chartrand.
Hi.
Hi. I just thought I'd put in my 2 cents to that.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, my broker has indicated that we would need to get, like, if you're going to videotape inside someone's home, you better get permission from that seller. So I think there are some nuances that people need to be careful of.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just throwing that out there.
No, that's a good point. Sorry, I wasn't reading it that way. So I'm glad you clarified. If that's what you're saying, I would say correct. I was just actually, there is somebody, a real estate agent, I forget her name. Kaylee might know it. It's that famous one in Atlanta. But she was just talking about how she does like famous football players and all this stuff in Atlanta. And she says that, you know, as agents really want to take pictures with people's, you know, it's like, one, you should get clarification that I do believe you should get clarification about doing, somebody owns that home, doing any like walkthroughs with it. Most people shouldn't I mean, I wouldn't if I'm trying to sell my home, but some people might be more, you know, private than that. So yes, I do believe that you should get, you know, clarification, do a walkthrough on a seller's home. However, I mean, there is mixed reviews, so I can follow up with you guys after this. Maybe our follow-up email, I'll confirm all of that, because I think it could be back and forth. But I mean, it's difficult because if you have an open house, people are going to video it, right? So I think there's just kind of a back and forth with it too. But I know you guys have private office exclusives. Either way, this one woman was talking about as far as taking pictures with, people in their homes. If it's more on the famous side, she said, don't do it. She's known as being really private, and that's how she gets more business. So as far as that side of things, but I think if you're talking about just randomly going in and out, let me follow up. I'll do a follow up after this because I do think that's kind of a sticky situation. I think it depends on the homeowner, but if you guys are doing open houses, I kind of think if I'm doing open house, I would walk through and probably do a video and not ask the homeowner if they're not there. I don't know. I don't know if there's anything, but I'll follow up with you. I'll find out.
Like it might be a case by case basis, just like use your best discretion and like Casey said, she'll follow up. She'll get some more clarification on that.
What are the questions you guys have about video or creating video or putting together video? I dropped a link to that TikTok team I was referencing that I think does a nice job of curating apartment tours and stuff like that. So there's some good ideas there. We will flesh out our document per usual, always drop a recording in there, always give you your list of homework action items. The other thing I encourage is like either tag us or DM us on Instagram to see what you're creating or what you've learned from this course so that we can spread your content farther for you. We would love and be happy to do that. And we have an audience reach that can help with that as well. So don't be afraid to send that stuff to us. Any other questions? Anything we didn't touch on today that you wanted us to? Hopefully we're just creating a resource for you and something, that we can keep compounding on as we work through our next few classes. Okay, well, our next class is in 2 weeks, and we will be talking about specifically relatable content in real estate. So hopefully, you'll come back and join us for that. When we talk about relatable content, we're going to talk about trends and things that are really shareable. So how we get people to share our content on social media and what that looks like. That will include video, meme, all types of shapes and sizes of things. So stay tuned as we continue to build this course along the way. Thank you everybody for being here. And Kaylee says great things about you guys really utilizing everything. So thank you again for your time. All right, Carolyn.